Hello, and welcome back to a Mental Break podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Simpson, and it's been a while. I should be looking this way. It's been a while. Welcome back. To you, the podcast is already out and back, but to us, this is back at it again.
First recording.
This is the first recording in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Psych, you thought I was back earlier, but I'm not. But that's some behind the scenes stuff. Anyways, welcome back, or welcome to Mental Break if you're new here. This is a podcast where we talk about mental health, and I have guests come on and we talk about mental health. Yeah, and this episode, very cool, very awesome. We've got the lovely Imogen in the house.
Thank you, Taylor. How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you so much for being on the show, Imogen.
Oh my god, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. You were on my podcast, so
yeah.
I'm returning the favor, but also I feel like it's just gonna be a good time. Like, we've been chatting all day.
I know.
We get to keep chatting.
For those tuning in, watching the back of my head right now,
Mm-hmm.
We've been chatting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been like 2 hours.
And that's okay. And
now we're rolling. But yeah, no, we had some lovely chats. We had a whole business proposition.
Exactly.
Before we even started rolling.
I'm sure your audience will hear about that.
Yeah.
Soon enough.
Right? Soon enough. Keep an eye open for that. But yeah, we have Imogen on the show today. Mm-hmm. As Imogen alluded to, I was on their podcast. This must be the place. Thank you. I did not forget the name of it. This must be the place pod, and we had a lovely time. I had a lovely time on your pod. It was very fun.
Thank you.
And I think it's safe to say that we hit it off, and we're good pals now.
Exactly.
I think it was like hey, you're cool. Hey,
there was just like good energy, right? Like we just like chatted. It was so open. It was so vibey. It was just why I'm like so excited for like your pod. Like it's like I feel like they're kind of in a similar vein in their own way. Like
I think so. Yeah, I think yours kind of resembles like the deeper meaning behind certain songs that people find love in, or certain love songs, and how that reflects on their life personally. And my pod is just about breaking the mental health stigma surrounding the conversation surrounding it.
Exactly.
And so I think they're cut from the same cloth.
Yes, definitely.
I
think there's a personal conversation that comes through either way, and that's and like a bit of a lore dump from everybody, which is 100%. Incredible.
Yeah, you definitely got some lore dump on your pod.
Yeah.
So I'm sure maybe by the time this one airs, our episode might be out. ?
Yeah, it's coming out not this coming Tuesday, but the Tuesday after.
Whoa.
So like 1 weekish, 10 days.
Yeah, so then by the time this comes out, it'll be out then.
Amazing.
So y'all, first of all, go subscribe to This Must Be the Place pod on Instagram and YouTube and all that good stuff.
Spotify, Apple Music. Yeah.
Imogen has a bunch of other episodes out already. And then my episode, or Wishwell's episode, is coming out soon. Or it'll be out by the time you watch this episode.
It'll be episode 11, so it'll be so much fun. It's the second last episode of like our first season, so it's gonna be wrapping up soon. And it's been really, really fun, and I feel like you reaching out to be on the pod was like very affirming of what it is and what I want it to be. And
that's always a good sign,
how
right?
It grows. Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like someone reaches really out to like be on your pod, you're like, oh my god, people care.
People
want to be on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I know how it felt when I first started this pod, and like having to reach out all the time for guests.
Yeah.
And then I remember my first I can't remember who exactly it was, so I apologize in advance. Maybe I'll put it in the liner notes. But I remember when someone asked me to be on the pod, and I was like, this is so cool.
It's so sick.
It's an honor, honestly, that people care enough to like want to be on the show. So it was great. So anyways, all that to say, like, I know what it's like, so I was like,
I appreciate it.
I really enjoyed we should mention Lena, because we're both friends with Lena.
That's the connection.
She's been on my podcast twice because we used to live together, so it was just easy. But yeah, no, she's like my bestie, and that's kind of how I even found your podcast, was through watching Lena's episode that you did.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, this is a great vibe. And then obviously we found out we have so many more friends in the same circles.
Toronto is so small. Like,
yeah,
it just gets smaller
from anyone watching that's in the city, you know what it's like. It's like, it's a big city, but also a very small city.
Exactly. Everyone knows everyone.
And
Lena's so lovely, and it's like being ages since like I shot her show, and that's how we met. And now it's like, okay, like it's a whole other world, and like everything kind of comes. It almost feels like full circle-ish.
It's a full circle moment. It's
exactly, beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, like, so that's kind of how I know. That's kind of how we met.
Yep.
Was through the pod, and then we did your episode, and now you're on the show. You're on my show, which is awesome. So it's like
great.
pod for pod.
Pod for pod. It's so fun, and I'm really looking forward to whatever we get into. And
me too.
Flows. Yeah.
Because like I was telling Imogen before when I was on their podcast that like I had a formulaic kind of structure to the podcast in the first season because I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not a podcaster. But then season 2 came around, and I kind of threw that out the window, and I was like, we're just gonna converse.
Let's see how it goes.
It steers in certain directions, but like that's what I like about doing this podcast is that, like, because of the subject matter and all that kind of stuff. Like, you never know where the conversation's gonna go, or where it's gonna lead to, and like I kind of like the wandering and meandering of it all.
Just
like, it makes
hanging
for a
out.
Just for a good conversation and for a good like experience for hopefully listeners to take it away from too, right? So
totally.
Well, before we get into too much of that. That's just kind of like how I know Imogen, like how we met and how you're on the show. But, for those tuning in and watching, maybe just give them like a brief description of who Imogen is.
Who I am?
Yeah, and who the fuck you are. And
whoa.
How did you get here?
Who am I? I should have thought about this in advance.
Yeah, it's a big question.
Exactly. I'm Imogen J. Lister. The J stands for Jupiter. That's my legal middle name.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if I talked about that. That's
I don't think
cool.
it's come up before between us, but that's
really cool.
Lore dump is my brother and sister are so much older than me that I was being born a female. My mom said that my sister got to choose my middle name. So I'm named after Holst's the planets, Jupiter, the bringer of joy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's
so
like
some
the
deeper
whole.
Meaning to it then,
That's the whole meaning.
It's a planet.
Exactly. It's kind of there's a little bit of reason within the family. I'm sure we'll get into it when we get into it, but a little bit more about me. I consider myself like a multidisciplinary artist. Very much a visual artist. I do like videos, and I do like zines and collages and graphic design and anything that I can get my hands on. Just love making art and being involved with artists as well. Some of you guys may know me from photographing shows in the Toronto music scene, and doing some video work for a few artists as well. And right now the big project is This Must Be the Place, the podcast. That's kind of the main focus right now. So I'm always jumping around and always curious to meet some more people in the scene and be more involved in it. And just hang out and have a good time. That's really what I'm here for.
I'm here for the vibes.
Exactly. I'm really here for the vibes all the time.
That's awesome. No, that's great. I mean, like, I can attest to it. Like, I've seen, now that we're more like pals now, like I've seen your name float around for a while. Cause like, well, we found out, Narima, like you shot for them, and then you did the music video for them too.
Exactly.
And like, shout out Narima.
Yeah, a few years ago now. They're great, but great people.
Like we played shows together, so like that's another connection. And so like I'd seen your name floating around there, and then obviously you're good friends with the guys in Ben's too.
Yeah.
Jesse and Morgan and Matt and all them, and
totally.
And Byron. So it's like them obviously. So it's another connection. Like I feel like I'd seen some of their posts, and they tagged you as like, have you shot some of Ben's shows?
Yeah, I shot for. I've been shooting for Ben's for like a year now-ish, like consistently their shows, and because they're just so much fun. Like their shows are so fucking good. It's always a banger. And I just love like hanging with them. Like
they're such good dudes.
Shoot all the time. So So my photos they're around on the Ben's page for sure. Yeah.
And like shout out to Ben's. Hi guys.
Love them.
Shout out to Ben's.
Love
we
those
love
guys.
you, or if you're listening. Or if you're not Ben's, or if you're not Narima, go check them out. They're awesome.
Totally.
But yeah, you can see some Imogen's work on their pages probably, right? So.
Yeah, my Instagram is at Imogen J Lister. That's just the full Gubby name. Yeah. Shout out the Instagram, and of course the podcast is This Must Be the Place Pod. And I'd love to see you guys around there. Really trying to make a community of the pod. So I would love
100%.
to hear you guys listening and commenting and being involved. But I
mean, you're so busy in the art space here in Toronto, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, I've seen all your stuff, like between the shoots you do and the podcast you're running and all sorts of other stuff you're getting your hands into, like, and then like future plans with Wishwell now, like.
Well, yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, so it's
the secret that we're hinting at throughout this.
Yeah.
Oh. Is she there? Is it recording?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Sorry guys, my monitor just turned off.
Just casually.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome seeing you like blossom in the scene and
thank you.
Stay busy and doing all these cool creative things. So
thank you so much. I've only lived in Toronto for like a year and a half now.
You've been busy.
I've tried really hard to figure out how to like get in here and like meet people and be part of the community. I feel like that's always people's big struggle when moving to a city is like you never know how to meet people and you never know how to get involved. So I was like, I'm just gonna rip off the Band-Aid and force myself.
That's the best way, honestly. It's like, and you know, good on you for taking the initiative to do so, because sometimes it's hard for people to do that, right? It's not easy to like jump in and start, you know, like networking and meet all these people, and like it's nerve-wracking sometimes, especially in a city that you're not used to or not familiar with, or you're just moved there. Like,
it can be so scary. I feel like we're very naturally transitioning into the intent of this podcast, where like this idea of like creating community and like finding like ways to be like less isolated when you're moving here, because that was definitely like a huge thing for me, where I was like, all I know are my roommates and their friends, and that's it. And like obviously that's like a huge help, but there's so many more people out there, and I was like, I want to find like my people. Like, I don't want to just like be friends with your friends. I want to find,
of course, you want to rely and find your own community and your own safe
space. So that's been like a whole thing that I've really tried to curate and find.
Well, you're doing a great job so far.
Thank you.
No, of course.
Thank you. Thank you for like wanting to hang, and Taylor for being a pal.
Absolutely,
like so quickly.
Man.
Yeah.
No, of course, absolutely.
Really
I'm like more friends the better.
Totally. That's the awesome way to be.
Well, thank you for giving the audience a little taste of who you are and what you do. It just gives people a better insight of like who the guest is on the show and a little bit of their background before we jump into the heavier stuff. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Before we go any further, I want to just ask, and I ask every guest to come on the show, how are they feeling today? Are they willing and open to the conversation of mental health? Like, basically, like, I'm asking for consent, essentially.
Okay.
In like the most organic way possible. But yeah, like, just how are you feeling? Are you okay to talk about your mental health today on the show?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling pretty good. Not gonna lie, this morning I was like so out of it. I was like, I'm not even gonna be here, and my roommate's like, well, that's a good thing, because you're gonna be so open, because you're not even gonna feel like it's you. And I'm like, maybe that is, but I feel way more grounded now than I was feeling earlier.
That's good.
Feeling ready to get into this chat. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I've kind of thought of what I haven't like come up with all the predetermined things, but I've kind of come up with like a concept of what I would want to touch on and stuff.
Sure.
So I'm looking forward to getting into it with you, Taylor. Yeah.
Great. Perfect. I just want to, it's important. We live in a day and age where consent is obviously extremely important.
Exactly.
And these kind of conversations are not easy to have. So like, kudos right off the bat for like being brave enough to even come on the show and open up about your mental health, because it's not easy. It's. I mean, that's kind of the whole mission statement of the show, and we talked about it, and my people already know. They've been watching and listening, like, they know already, but, like, for anyone just tuning in, like, or if you're new to the show, the whole mission statement was just, like, to break the stigma surrounding the conversation.
Yeah.
And make these kind of conversations more accessible for people that need to hear them.
Makes sense, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, it's kind of still frowned upon in today's society. Like, we're getting better.
Yeah.
Like, we're making strides since, even when I first started the pod, we're making strides, which is great to see, but I still feel like there's some sort of shroudiness surrounding these kind of conversations. Like, they're not normalized yet.
There totally is. And I feel like it doesn't, like, there's like a level of like anxiety within people that like doesn't want to share. It just makes it even harder, because it's like, you want to talk about the anxiety. And I've seen how, like, being open can, like, make such an impact and, like, make everything so much easier. Like, in my own work, I can just be like, I'm feeling anxious today. I'm having a rough day in one way or another, and suddenly it's very okay. Everything is very okay, and I'm like, everyone is willing to like meet you where you're at. But it's hard to open up about, and it's hard to like really just know that. And I'm talking about it in a very productivity kind of perspective, but there's a whole, I feel like that's so much of what our society is rooted on, and that's where so much of this judgment comes from as well, at least personally, is like in like the capitalist mindset of our society.
Good old capitalism.
Yeah, exactly.
Patriarchy and all that bullshit.
Totally.
Yeah, shit's crazy out there, but yeah, I mean, like, the point of all this is just to like, if people are nervous or scared to open up about these kind of things, or like don't know where to go, or don't know how to start these kind of conversations, and feel like they're lost or trapped, or feel like they just can't talk about it to anybody, like, that's the point of this podcast, really, is to like find people that are like willing and open, and like obviously I'm extremely willing and open to talk about it. It's like my whole thing. It's kind of like who I am, is like a mental health advocate, and trying to spread awareness and break the stigma surrounding these kind of conversations. And so it's super important. But anyways, all that to say, like, just very excited that you're here and open and willing to talk about that kind of mental health stuff today, and hopefully we can connect with some people.
Definitely.
On a deeper level.
Thank you for giving me this platform. It's very
Absolutely,
sick.
Of course. Thank you for stepping on the platform.
Thank you, Taylor, for being you.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay, let's get into it. I guess let's just off the top. Let's just create a base level, I guess, and we're to kind of launch pad this conversation.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'll ask first is like, maybe just kind of walk us through like, if you've been diagnosed with anything, if you haven't been diagnosed with anything, if you think you got something, if you got something.
Yeah.
Kind of like give us a little rundown of the mental health illnesses that you experience.
Yeah. I've never been like formally diagnosed. Okay. But I've definitely suffered from a level of like anxiety my whole life, like very much generalized anxiety. My mom also has quite extreme anxiety, and she's always commented like, like, I see it in you, like, it's there. And I remember just being like a kid and being like so scared to do anything, so scared. And like I'll get into like a lot of where that comes from, I think. But yeah, and then like I feel like the anxiety has caused me to go through like phases of like depressive episodes, a lot of perfectionism where I'm like very like putting a lot on myself, and then there's the paralyzation of it, like getting paralyzed by it, which causes a lot of like depression and feeling pretty lame about life, pretty miserable. Talk more about like the anxiety. It's like it has manifested itself in like panic attacks at times, but it's a lot of just like very much like that fear, that very deep fear that you feel in like just doing like day-to-day things, just hanging out, and it just becomes a lot, a little bit more like context recently that I'd love to talk about more is my brother passed away in September, so it's been a huge process of like grieving recently, and all of these feelings, like the anxiety, the anger, all of this comes so much more elevated in grief, especially the depression. That's like a huge thing, and yeah, I feel like that's kind of like a baseline of where I am and the context of it all. I have like compulsive tendencies that have been diagnosed in some way or another. A more interesting one, which since this is like the safe space, is trichotillomania, which is like hair pulling. That's like a huge compulsive thing for me.
Interesting. Okay. I hadn't heard of that.
Anxiety. It's I feel like people don't really talk about it, because I've only ever seen like one sort of like online presence talk about it, because people are so like, that's gross, don't do that, I'm
unfamiliar with the terminology. It's
called trichotillomania.
I'd never heard of that word. Like the hair pulling thing, I guess I've seen probably like people do in like anxious situations.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know there was a medical term for it.
Yeah, it's like very much like just like pulling or picking at yourself kind of thing.
Like picking at the skin or like biting your nails.
Exactly.
Like little ticks to like
kind
of subdue, I guess, the anxiety or like distract or something, or
who knows. It's kind of like, I feel like it, like, you know, I've recently figured out that I have ADHD, and so I feel like it's like very much like, you know, just something to do with your hands and something to keep you moving and something to do. So it's like a whole thing. Exactly.
I don't want to be rude when I say that, but just like
that like can't sit still.
The fidgety tendencies sometimes that you get, like if your brain is not like focused on a task or whatever, right?
Totally. Yeah. Exactly. And very, very, it's very much like compulsive. Like it's like you can't really control it.
Yes, it's like very subconscious level of like you're not even aware sometimes you're doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have OCD diagnosed.
Okay.
So I know not exactly, but I know like similar to what that is, of, like the compulsive thoughts of like doing an action and not even know that you're doing it because it's like underneath the surface level, you know?
It's just there. Yeah. Exactly. I feel like that was like the first time I'd like under like having that like label put on it. It was like, oh, this is the first time like I've even tried to like dip my toe into like the concept of like, you know, like compulsive behavior and like understanding anxiety and like how impactful like anxiety can actually be, I feel, because I'd had it like as a child, it was just like, this is just how I am kind of thing. And that was just kind of something that I was like expected to like accept. And then I was like, okay, maybe this is like something like deeper than that. And I should like actually get help for it and like, you know, look into it.
When did you start feeling that way?
I feel like I was like I want to say like 14, 15. Like I feel like I was like early high school, like, mid high school.
Early teens.
Yeah. But I didn't actually start seeing like a therapist or getting any sort of help for mental health until I started seeing a therapist in like early 2024, so just over like a year now.
Okay.
Shout out
to Toronto, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was kind of like one of those things where it's like, okay, new life setup, like I need
next chapter.
I need to figure this out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get some things straight. But shout out Haley because she's wonderful and
shout out Haley
love
if you're
her.
Watching.
Yeah. Maybe I'll send this to her and see if she listens. But
that'd be great.
Yeah. If we go like and then I didn't actually reach out for that, and I tried like I tried getting on like SSRIs, but my doctor was very much just like, here, I'll prescribe it and not give you any other support for it. Like it was an online doctor's call, like over Zoom, and she's just like, yeah, sure, here's a prescription for Zoloft. And I was like, okay, so I took it. Had a very bad experience. Had a very kind of went a little bit manic, and then immediately became like so depressed and hopeless and honestly like a little bit suicidal for like an evening. And my roommates were just like, okay, smoke some weed, don't take the Zoloft again, chill out, like not again. So it's like kind of been like a bit of a journey for me figuring out like how to get support for my mental health and feel comfortable doing that. And like I feel like I'm like at a place where I'm like, okay, like I have at least one support system in place and working on others, and like that's like kind of professional and like that's designated great for it, and that's where I'm at.
So like I always like to ask the guests to come on the show like to give us kind of like a timeline summation of like their journey with their mental health.
Okay.
Because like everyone's journey is so different, and like the more episodes I do of this show, the more I realize like how different everyone's journey really is.
Cool.
And like pinpoint moments of like sometimes it comes on later in life for them, or sometimes it comes on really early.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's always been there and they never really knew until finding it out later. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different variables, and so I guess in an effort to like kind of relate to someone out there, like I would love to get a timeline of your mental health journey. And maybe it matches with somebody, or maybe they feel like connected in a way, like, oh yeah, like I feel the same way, like that was when my journey started, or something like that, you know.
That
like,
makes sense. Yeah.
And it kind of just gives like a good place to kind of like, you know, keep the conversation going in that direction as well. But
totally.
So maybe start from like as early as you can, I guess, of like when you started feeling these you know, anxious feelings, or
trichotillomania.
Yeah. I'm never going to be able to say that.
Yeah.
Those sort of tics and the perfectionism. I'd be curious to see where that comes into play too in your life. But like, take us back to like, if you can, kind of where you feel like that all started.
It could be so dramatic. I could be like,
go for it.
Ever since I was a young baby, like, I'm not even kidding.
I came out the womb anxious.
Like honestly, like my first word was help. I think that
actually,
yeah.
Your first word as a child was help.
Help, yeah.
Damn.
So anxious.
That's not a cry for help. I don't know what
so
is.
So scared.
You're like help.
My mom forgot me in a high chair.
Oh,
and
no.
She just heard like a teeny tiny little voice going, help. And she was like, what? And the doctor found that so funny. And I was like, no one was concerned.
Yeah, that your first word was help.
Literally. I was like,
jeez.
I was like, is that just so telling of like where I was?
Yeah, no kidding.
I feel like I need to give like a little bit of context of like my family dynamic.
Sure, yeah.
If that's cool.
Please do.
Like I said, my brother passed away in September from a complication with like muscular dystrophy. He was 7 years older than me and diagnosed when he was 3. So I've kind of lived like this whole life.
Wow.
Knowing like, and if you guys don't know what muscular dystrophy is, it's like a degenerative disease that affects the muscles, and so it's very much like it's a chronic illness. It's a ever developing disability.
Yeah.
With like a life expectancy of like 16 to 19. He lived to 33, which is crazy, but and it's different now, the life expectancy. There's a lot more research in like stem cells and everything to like help like there's so much more support and like medical stuff going on than there ever has been before,
which is great to
it's
hear.
really, really sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was like a huge part of my childhood, as well as my sister is 9 years older than me. Undiagnosed autism until like 5 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
So parents, very anxious mother with two like level of like neurodivergent and like disabled children.
Right.
So my parents had a lot of blinders on. They kind of had to hyper focus on some things. So as a child, it's like I was just so nervous about everything all the time, and I knew there were certain things where I knew like what I just feel like I was like, overthinking everything. Like, my eyes water easily. I cry very easily when I talk about things, just so you know.
It's a safe space.
Thank you. But yeah, so my parents had like a lot on their plate, very clearly. Like, they're doing their best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your dad suffer? Sorry, did your dad suffer from anything at all, or that you know of?
Dad, I feel like, as far as I can tell, no. Okay. But I would not be surprised if he was also autistic. Anyways.
Right.
I don't know if he'll hear this or not.
I'm just thinking like genetics. Like if you and all your siblings
have something up,
then it makes sense that like
my
it
mom
came from both sides.
Exactly. My mom definitely 100% undiagnosed ADHD, like totally.
Yeah.
Dad, possible autism. I have another family member with Asperger's. Like there's definitely like a neurodivergence that runs in the family. My brother had ADHD.
Right.
Yeah, definitely a neurodivergence. Totally, everyone.
the neuro spicy is spicy in your family.
Exactly. It's very much there. It's very strong. But yeah, so I feel like from being a kid, it was just like there was a constant. There's a thing called glass child syndrome. I don't know if I've heard of this.
I'm the first child, so I don't.
Okay, yeah.
I have first child syndrome.
Okay, fair enough. But glass child syndrome is like the siblings of children with disability are essentially raised just naturally, like through whatever, through just like the conditioning of like the childhood to just be like invisible and like be like able to accommodate everyone's needs, able to like really just like walk on eggshells. And it's I think it's like made me a very empathetic person and maybe a very interesting person. I don't want to be here and be like, woe is me, my siblings have disabilities, but
this is your journey.
Exactly,
it's unique to you and nobody else, right?
Thank you. Yeah, so I feel like it's like being yeah, it's like definitely like that. I feel like is where all of the anxiety came from. But
Yeah, no
you
kidding.
said to keep on.
Feel like you're invisible the whole time. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
It's just a good point that you made there of like feeling like you had to step on eggshells in your own family.
Yeah.
And like being the last born and having that age gap too between you and your siblings, and like even your parents too must have been older when they had you.
Definitely.
And then having an anxious mother, having siblings that also had neurodivergency like ADHD, and your sister has
she's autistic.
She's autistic, so it's like growing up around that, but then being in a place of like having to feel invisible or like having to accommodate everybody else, and it's like, well, where's your accommodation?
Exactly.
You know, like that's just gonna cause more anxiety that you already were dealing with in the first place. And like then your own space where you're supposed to feel comfortable, like at home, right? Like that sucks, having to feel like you have nowhere to get that accommodation from.
Totally. It was a huge thing. And it was really only when I started going to therapy, like I said, like early 2024, that I feel like a lot of this was really like, actually put a name to it, everything. The glass child thing, I had a friend a few years ago, very, very good friend. And she was the first person who made me do like, you know, like the attachment systems test and like all of these things. And she was like, she's the one who came to me and was like, have you ever heard of what a glass child is? And I was like, no.
Are you saying glass child?
Glass. Yeah. Oh, okay.
I thought you were saying last child.
Oh, no. Sorry. Glass
Because you were the
child.
last born.
Oh, okay.
And
no.
that's why I made the joke earlier about first child. I was sitting here going, is she saying, are they saying glass child or last child? Oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like see-through.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than last child.
There's probably...
Glass child.
Sorry, I'm grabbing my water bottle. There's probably something to be said there about... I haven't, like, really... Like, obviously I've done a little bit of research into this, but I don't know where the name came from. I don't know if it has to do with the idea of, like, easily breaking either or anything like that.
Or, like, see-through or, like... Yeah, like... two-way mirror almost.
Yeah.
Like, you see them, but they don't see you situation, it sounds like.
That's very true. I feel like the idea of like being see-through is like a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, where like you're trying to sort of remain invisible. You're trying to be like the easy child a lot of the time. And like I said, like these are things that I didn't really, just to like go back to your question about the timeline.
Yep.
Obviously as a child I had no idea. I was scared of hurting myself because I didn't want to, you know, be a nuisance in that way. I was scared of, like, I kept on top of my grades, I think more out of fear than any sort of pride in it. Stuff like that, like just trying to be like as easy as possible.
Yeah.
It comes down to like dinners. Like it comes down to like, you know, my siblings could have preferences on what they wanted for dinner, but I couldn't, because it was like I just had to like fess up and eat whatever they wanted, because they would put on a bigger fuss than I would. So I would just go with it.
Yeah.
But these are all things that like I only realized in like the last year, and I'm 26, so only in like my 25th, 26th year have I figured out that this was going on from when I was like a little kid.
That's usually when stuff starts to like
the
picture starts to fill a little bit more. It's like when you get to your later 20s and your 30s, you're like, whoa.
Well, I feel like so many people I talk to, and like when they're like 20 to like 24, they like don't remember their childhood.
Yeah.
They like fully have it like blocked out, don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I was the same way.
But yeah, and then like suddenly you just start to like regain things, and you're like, oh wait, that's
like,
interesting. Yeah.
I repressed this so far down. Yeah.
Maybe that was a little fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a point in high school where I realized, like, you know, like, oh, I definitely have like severe anxiety. And like it definitely was like a lot more severe when I was in high school, as a teenager, where I tried, like, you know, I like tried to ask for help. I kind of tried to see like a counselor through the school, but nothing really seemed to like click. And so it was just like another thing of just like, okay, I'll just ignore it for now.
Right.
And then come college, I also tried to like ask for like a counselor, see what's going on. I was like, I can't get my assignments done because I'm like so overwhelmed, and like there's just like so much like pressure on top of it.
Right.
Where I and I was told, they said like you have like red flag anxiety. I did like a whole questionnaire.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
like this is through Sheridan College. They're like you have red flag anxiety and you have like symptoms of depression. And they gave me a pamphlet on how to get a better sleep. And that was all I got for that.
Wow.
So then I was kind of like,
sleep better. You'll
okay.
Be fine.
It's like, okay, the college is not supporting me. That's fine.
That's so sad to hear too. Just like you would think out of all places.
Yeah, like somewhere that people
they
need.
support their students at least, but
Exactly. So then yeah, it was like I was like, okay, I'm basically done school. Graduated last year. Moved to Toronto. Thank you. Moved to Toronto, and I was like, okay, I need to fix something up here.
Yeah.
I say that ironically, but yeah, I was like,
it's
okay, I need to take care of it.
Though.
Yeah.
Like it's not easy to have the self-awareness of checking in like that.
Exactly.
It takes time, and it takes like real like not motivation, but it takes like a lot of persistence and perseverance to like have that. Okay, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I'm checking in with myself. Like, what are the next steps moving forward now?
Definitely.
Like, how do I get better?
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
know? So it's not easy for people to be in that place. So it's like, it's great that you found that on your own.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely something where I finished school, and I was honestly so burnt out from school. Like I did 6 years of college.
Yeah. It's a lot of school.
It was a lot of school. It was 2 years of like a visual arts program, and then 4 years of film school, like bachelor's of film and television. And I was so burnt out. It was so exhausting, and I was just like, I'm going to give myself like this year to like rest and recover, and I was like, I'm going to get on top of my mental health, and that's like my goal for the year. I will say, like, there was like a level of like comparison there with like classmates where I was like, oh, they're like, they're getting their jobs, they're going on with their lives, whatever, and I'm like, I feel very stationary. But I look back at like what I did for my mental health, and I'm like, okay, I'm not in the same place mentally that I was at all. I might be in the same place in a lot of other ways, but mentally totally different. And obviously, and then like my brother passed, and that was like I don't know if it was a step back, because it was like a
reset almost,
or like a reset, and like a little bit of like my all the work I did was kind of like for something, like it was like prepping myself for something on the mental health journey.
Right.
Like the connection I already had with a therapist was there, and like so like there's just like supports already in place.
Safe, basically.
Exactly. It was nice to have. All good. Yeah, I feel like that kind of walks through like the timeline a bit of just like how much I'll also like throw in another word, like the anticipatory grief was something that I didn't even know I was experiencing.
I was gonna ask about that.
Child.
Yeah, like knowing your brother's situation.
Yeah.
Like, at a young age, obviously, because I mean he was diagnosed when he was 3. You said.
Yeah.
So like you weren't even born yet. So you were like born into a world knowing that.
Yeah.
Your brother his days are numbered.
Exactly. And my parents, just to like give some context of like how like heavy muscular dystrophy was, when they got this diagnosis, they, and like, you know, my brother, okay, let me go back a little bit.
Yeah. Take your time, go for it.
My brother passed, and my mom turns to my dad and goes, which day was harder, the day he got diagnosed or today? And they both said the day he got diagnosed.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's interesting.
That's hard. Yeah. Like, I feel like the whole like life that they envisioned for this kid was just like thrown off.
From the get-go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like basically like my whole family has had some level of like anticipatory grief with this for like like 30 years.
Like knowing the end is gonna happen, but not knowing when it's gonna happen.
Exactly.
And like trying your best not to grieve before it's even happened. And that fucking God, to sit in that place of like anticipatory doom is like awful.
Like, who knows? Yeah.
I mean, like, I can, you know, I can't relate to your situation obviously, but I can say from my side of it, like when my dad was diagnosed with ALS, he was only given 5 years to live.
Wow.
And I was 6 years old.
Wow.
You know, so I didn't even have an understanding at the time, but like as I got older, like when I was turning 10, like, and seeing my dad like slowly disintegrate in front of me, like, you know, because by the time he had passed away, he was like, you know, wheelchair bound and couldn't even talk anymore, couldn't use any of his limbs, like
Wow.
I had to feed him, dress him. Like, I was basically like his caretaker at 11 years old, or 10 years old. And so I can kind of understand the whole anticipatory anxiety or grief of like knowing that one day he is going to die.
Yeah.
It's just inevitable, but like not knowing when, and like living each day going like, is this the day he dies? Is this the day he dies? Is this the day, like, you know,
exactly.
Like, it's an awful place to be in.
It was when I was in high school that I feel like I was like really, really waiting and anticipating. Like, I felt the anticipatory grief the most, where I was like, and like in my early years of college as well, where I was like, is this going to be the day I wake up and get the call? You know, like, you know, like I knew it was going to happen at some point.
We'll talk about anxiety.
Yeah.
Shit.
A little bit. It was just kind of like, when are we going to get this call? And like, you know, during COVID, it was very much like, okay, like this is scarier because the thing is with muscular dystrophy is like, it affects like the physical muscles, of course, and those deteriorate. So like the first thing is like, you know, like you end up in a wheelchair and stuff, but then it starts affecting your diaphragm, then you can't breathe.
Yep.
And so COVID, if my brother got COVID, that would like, he's on a ventilator full time, like that would have been it. So that was kind of like a very scary moment of just like, okay, like thank God he was in like, he lived in a Freeport hospital. Huge shout out to them. They're like, they got like very much recognized by the government for like how well they handled COVID.
Okay, good.
They have like a hospice unit, and they had like nurses sleeping in the hospice instead of having to go home and stuff, like actually providing them with spaces to like stay and stay separate from their people. Nurses too. Holy shit. A huge shout out to the nurses. They're doing the most during that time. They are
doing the most.
Yeah.
Recognized for it.
Totally. So yeah, like I feel like that was like a moment where it was like also really scary. But
it's like COVID was already bad enough as it is.
Exactly.
Like just in general.
Yeah.
Like for everyone. And then on top of having your situation with your brother involved in all that, like you're already anxious enough as it is. There's as a person. Then COVID happened. Then your brother's sick. Like it's like holy shit, man.
Yeah, and that was the longest I'd went without seeing him.
Oh yeah, because you couldn't even see him either, right?
Couldn't go and visit him. Yeah.
Damn.
And you know, his mobility was getting to a point where like he couldn't really type on a computer the same way he used to be able to. So it was like we were very like separated. And I do feel like it was a lot of our relationship was like built from our childhood and like reflected upon from the childhood, not so much like, I feel like recent years it definitely dwindled, but like, you know, he's my brother, don't love him any less for that, but
no, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, there definitely was like a little bit of like, our whole family talks about like complacency. It's like almost like since like after COVID, it was like everybody was just kind of like, Tom's around, we'll get told when things are deteriorating, and and we'll find out when, you know, like we'll get a heads up when we need to start like visiting all the time, and we need to like really step it up. It was kind of like, I feel like everyone's like collective mindset without really saying it. And then it was very much like we got a call, you know, hours or days, don't know which, okay, everyone come home right now. Yeah, so that was it kind of like fulfilled the anticipatory grief prophecy of what I thought was going to happen when I was a teenager, which is interesting. Yeah.
So is that like, forgive me, this is going to be a hard question to ask, but is that like the biggest loss that you've suffered in your life?
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like all my grandparents have passed away and stuff, but my parents are from are from England, so they were all overseas, so we weren't like super close with any of them still, but my brother was definitely biggest loss in my life.
It's a close to home one for sure.
Exactly. Felt like definitely like mourning childhood more than like, not even just the person, but like childhood at the time. 100%. And it still is.
I've heard someone say this before about a somewhat similar situation, whereas like among all the grief and, you know, the depression, anxiety comes with a loss like that. Did you find any sort of sense of relief? Because I've had people say, like, in a situation where it's like where you know the end is coming, but it's not dragged out because you want to live with them, obviously, but it's just like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's like,
it just keeps going.
The years go on, and like you don't know when the end is. And it's like, then the end finally happens, and it's almost sort of like, yes, it's horrible, and it's tragic, and we don't want them to pass, obviously. Like, I'm speaking from experience from my dad.
Yeah.
But it's at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, they're at peace now.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I no longer have to feel this anticipatory
feeling,
doom, like dread, because now it's happened.
Totally.
And I can just process the loss and try to move on my life.
It definitely.
Like, that's a really insensitive thing to think about, but I'm just curious from your perspective.
It really was. Like, I feel like, you know, I there's been so many things that I wanted to do, and I feel like even like through high school or being like the years after high school, there was a lot of just like felt like very much just like waiting for the end, and knowing that, you know, if I wanted to like travel or anything, like who knows what could happen.
Right.
And then I was reading Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I will say it wasn't my favorite Sally Rooney book, but I enjoyed it enough. But one of the characters, it's these two brothers, and their dad has had cancer. And their dad passes. He had it for like 6 years since he was first diagnosed. And these characters in this, it's a fictional book, but the youngest brother, he just says like he has like this whole monologue where he's just like, for the first time I get to like live my life. Like, I don't have to think about dad being sick in the hospital. I don't have to go visit him. I don't have to spend time with him. It's like, for the first time, it's like I can really just go do things. And it's like,
I feel like it's what your brother would want.
Yeah, and exactly that.
And it's fair to say that, you know, like, he wouldn't want you to be suffering. You know, I think that's safe to say.
Definitely.
To speak for experience with my dad. Like, he wouldn't have wanted me to. Well, I mean, I went through a fuck ton of shit after that, but like, we're not gonna talk about that. This is your episode, but yeah, no, like, you have to go through all that stuff to live and learn, obviously. But I feel like at the end of the day, they would want their loved ones to continue their life, and not feel held back, right? And I'm sure your brother, he probably felt it a long time, maybe, even when he was still here.
Totally.
You know, but it's just interesting to hear that side of it, because your situation is so unique with MS, you know, and like your brother, and, you know, maybe a lot of people don't experience that kind of diagnosis within their family, and they don't know anybody that has that, so it's like, it's a very outside experience for them.
Totally.
So it's just interesting to get two sides of the coin of like, yes, it's tragic and fucking awful, but at the same time, it's also like there's a weird sense of relief that comes with it as well, and it's like, how do you juggle those two emotions?
You try not to be like,
I had a hard time
guilty about it. Yeah,
I had a really, because I was 11 years old, so
that's
like,
hard.
Different time period of my life, obviously, but like, as an 11-year-old trying to coincide the relief and the sadness was like such a weird dichotomy to be living in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I felt guilty that I felt relief. But then I also felt depression and sadness because he is passed, and then they would both be arguing in my head of like, which one's like right to feel. Yeah. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like even like there's like a huge part of like the relief, and I'm like, I definitely feel like it's like there was also relief. I feel like there were like stages in my brother's life where we would like, there was almost like a level of relief, or there was something happening. There was always like a level of development or something going on. And one of those moments was like the moment that my parents decided he should live in a hospital full time.
Right.
And the relief there was like, I didn't have to be like a 12-year-old kind of caretaker. And it's like, I don't get to see my brother every day anymore. That sucks.
Yeah.
But at least I don't have to be like responsible for giving somebody water, or giving somebody food, or doing this for somebody.
He's being taken care of.
Exactly.
In a place now. Yeah.
Exactly. And so when he passed, it was like very much like the same feeling of just like, oh, like I don't have to worry about going and sitting in a hospital anymore. I don't have to worry about getting this phone call anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to add like a whole other layer to it, I remember being in high school, like 15, 16, and being like, okay, I have a friend group, like quite a large friend group. I have people who care about me. I kind of wish this would happen now. Like, you know, like I don't want him to die, but I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish like we could rip off the Band-Aid while I'm doing okay. Like, you know.
Right.
Or while like, you know, I'm not living my dreams doing this in the future and I have to like put it all on hold because something's going to happen. Yeah. It's a
hard feeling to sit in though, isn't it?
Definitely. I definitely did not sit in it when I was in high school. I was like,
that's how can you?
I was
right?
like, yeah, I was like, that's a fucked up thought. Like, yeah, I'm never admitting that.
You think about though, you know, and like, I know for my, I can only speak for myself in the situation, but it's like, you kind of feel selfish.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Definitely.
But it's like, only you know. You know, like there's no one else that's gonna be able to judge what you do in the situation
and like know what the reaction is, and there's no right reaction. Everyone's gonna do it differently.
Definitely not. This is not a linear situation. This
exactly.
is a very zigzag, you know,
all over the place.
Yeah. God, I mean I don't envy the situation we were both in at all.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm sorry about your dad. ALS.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. Yeah, I know. We'll get more into that off pod, but
makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, they already know already. Like the first couple episodes were about my journey to like get people involved, so they already know.
Get
but
the base. Yeah.
To get a base level, exactly.
Definitely.
But yeah, well, if you want to know more, we can talk about it afterwards. But I mean, thank you for sharing what you shared so far. I mean, like you've had a hell of a journey.
Thank you.
in your life, in your mental health situation. Which, you know, there's 2 segments I have coming up in the pod now. Because we're almost at an hour, so I think it's a good time to bring up these segments.
Awesome.
Because we're kind of heading that direction, it seems like the conversation anyways, but...
Yeah.
So there's a section called the Real Reels. I hate the name, I want to change it, but the fans, they like it now, so it sticks.
Okay, yeah.
It was just like a lack of better term for this segment, and I was like... Let's be real, you know? But I couldn't call it Let's Be Real when I was like... and then someone was like, oh, it's the Real Reels, and I'm like... Okay, fine. So I called it the Real Reels, and it's stuck, and I can't change it now. Whatever.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So this segment's called the Real Reels, and there's only really one question in this segment, but it's you know, this is kind of like the darker side of the conversation, you know, and like obviously to your own comfortability. I'm not gonna ever try to pry anything out of anybody that they don't want to disclose. But this is the part of the podcast where it's like, this is the real shit.
Okay.
This is the shit that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
You know, and like this is the conversations that I like to have because it's real and it's not bullshit. You know. So, and you've touched upon a couple things earlier already, but I mean, the question in this segment is just like, what have been the darkest times for you with your mental health?
Yeah. The darkest times.
Yeah, and again, like as much as you're comfortable with talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never gonna ask you to do more, or we can just skip the section entirely if you need to. Like, you let me know. This is your show now.
Totally. I'm happy to talk. I will.
Yeah.
Let me think about when would be a good moment to talk about.
Process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, like, this is the space in the show where it's like, let's get real. You know, like let's talk about the fucking dark dungeons of our minds.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm really trying to think because honestly, as much as this has been, like, since my brother died, like, last September, it's been a really, really hard few months with, like, the grief and everything.
Yeah.
There is a level of it where I'm doing mentally fairly okay. And by that, what I mean is really what the baseline for that is the, like, suicidal ideation is not that strong. Comes up at moments.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I feel like there were moments when it was like all I could think about. And I think one of those big, really dark moments for me was like 2021. Yep. I was full, like a little bit more context around the COVID stuff. I worked at Home Depot to get myself through school. 2020 during COVID, I was finishing up that first program that I mentioned I was doing, and I was also working at Home Depot, and Home Depot was considered like a survival necessity store as a hardware store.
Okay.
So we had to go into work. We kept working. And some people were like, I'm not working, or, like the lockdown started and we turned into like an Amazon warehouse without any of the infrastructure of an Amazon warehouse.
Sure. Okay.
So they were like, can you work like 60 hours a week while you're finishing this program that you're doing? And I'm like, sure.
Oh my God,
I want the money.
I mean, I get it, but like, holy crap.
I want to be busy instead of thinking about a pandemic.
The doomsday. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was working. It was like a very, very like exhausting period, and definitely burnt myself out. And come 2021, I ended like the relationship I was in. I was having like issues with roommates. It was just like looking very grim, and like like school wasn't helpful or supportive. There wasn't community, and honestly it was only when I was in therapy that I really felt like comfortable around people and understanding that I could like rely on people for support. So I really didn't feel like I had like many close friends around me either, even though there were, but it really felt like so alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember like leaning on like not the right people, and all that I mean by like that is people who like thought that they had best interests but really like didn't want to understand you at all as a person. And so I feel like that like moment in 2021 where I was just like so burnt out, I really was thinking about like dropping out, ended this relationship that was like honestly very important and very like shaping for me as a person. And then also just like feeling like I didn't have like any friends around me, and I like turned to like this one person for support, and it was very much like a very like I had friends saying like you were only in like that new relationship because you were so mentally ill, and it was so obvious.
Wow.
And so having people around in that area, and I don't like, honestly I feel like a lot of that memory is like very blacked out and very like disassociatively gone, but there were moments of just like, oh my God, I'm getting like a flashback of of like I remember being at home and something went wrong. I can't remember what it was, which is funny because it's like, of course you never remember what it is. Something went wrong, and I was just like, I cannot be at home. Like if I'm at home, I'm gonna like do something bad. I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna do something that I regret. And I just started walking down Trafalgar. If you guys have never been in Oakville, Trafalgar is like it's on borderline a highway.
It turns into one.
And I just started walking in my like pajamas. I was just like, I can't be at home, and I was like, I'm like walking down the street and I'm like, I look fucking insane right now. Like, I'm crying and I'm
in Oakville.
Literally.
If you did in Toronto, you'd be fine.
True. I'd be
blending
in just fine. But in Oakville, getting some looks. And I like walked for like half an hour down Trafalgar, and I was like, I could walk home. I'm wearing my pajamas. It's like literally the middle of the night. It's like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. And I'm like, okay, I like called this person. As much as I'm like, being like, oh, they like weren't very good for me, like they did come pick me up and take me home, which was
okay, good,
nice. Did they take me home? I don't think they did.
News breaking, did not go home.
I don't think they did. I think I ended up like sleeping in their car.
That's good.
But sure, I guess. But it's just very telling of kind of like the place and like this person and like how they kind of wanted a bit of like ownership over me, and that was like a bit of a thing. Well, it seems like they were taking
advantage of you at your weakest point.
Exactly. So it was kind of just like a bit of a spiral, in that mental health corner, and I feel like that's it's
a dark place to be in.
It was a dark place, definitely. Just had like, yeah, like roommates who I thought I was close with, who felt like they were like very slowly abandoning me after this relationship ended, kind of because this relationship ended.
Oof.
Yeah, and it was just like yeah, nothing felt, it just felt so hopeless, and just like the anxiety was at a peak with everything. And had some friends around me, but not a huge amount. And like I said, like couldn't feel like I could trust them, even though like some of them were good. But there were other people who weren't, that I was choosing to trust. And it's like so hard to like understand why we do those things in hindsight.
Well, you don't know when you're in it though. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Right? You never do.
The blinders are on.
Hindsight
the
2020.
Brain is
you know, like
exactly.
I felt like we had the hindsight beforehand, but like you know, unfortunately, a part of life is going through those journeys and learning and not making the same mistakes twice. You know, and
totally.
Unfortunately, it's just part of the process.
Yeah.
But it's like you went through it and you built character from it, and like you learned. You know, like it could have been worse for you. You could have went through that and then not learned anything, and then like still continue on that cycle.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just how you come out of those moments that matter more than the actual moment itself.
Definitely. It was one of those, I feel like the relationship with this person that I'm kind of talking bad about in a way.
Yeah.
Fuck this person. Fuck this one guy.
Yeah, hey, if you're that one guy that's watching, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Am I allowed to give the finger? Sorry, YouTube.
Go for it. I'm not mentalized anyway.
Exactly.
Fuck that guy.
Good moment.
That's gonna be the clip.
I'm so glad.
That's gonna be the clip. That's going on Instagram. That's going on everything.
Perfect. I'll share it around. Everyone needs to know I'm cool. I can give a bird. Flip the bird.
Yeah, dude. Bird. But no, back to the realness.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I feel like part of that relationship was realizing how much like I put a lot of dependence on relationships, and it really, like, a huge part of why I went to therapy was like this attachment style thing where I knew well that I was like
codependent.
Extremely fell into codependency easily, like the anxious attachment where I was like in and out of, like, I hate this word, but like situationships where somebody was like emotionally unavailable, but I was like, I'm gonna make this a thing no matter what, I'm gonna cling.
You know where that stems from.
So being neglected as a child.
Bingo.
Yeah. Which therapy has taught me all.
I guess I'm a therapist now.
I think you are, actually.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've done this show long enough to like there's through lines and threads, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of always goes back to your child. Not always, but like
it
most
really
often not, it goes back to your childhood traumas that weren't resolved. And then they manifest later in life in these situations.
Totally.
And you're like, why am I doing this? And it's like, well, if you think back, it makes sense.
Perfect sense. Yeah. When like I like, you know, I've talked to my parents about like my childhood and stuff, and like they, like, obviously they don't understand how I think I was like a level of neglected. Like, you know, we were kind of like middle class-ish, like, you know, and like I played sports, so my parents took me to the sports, and like I had good grades and stuff, and there was nothing extremely indicating to it, but I guess there were like some level of needs where I just didn't feel like it was met, and that is just, and no matter what, that's just how it's gonna feel. And
you
like,
can't ignore the feeling. The feeling's in you for a reason.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and my parents are,
whether or not you think it's societal level or not, like, it doesn't matter. It's your experience, right?
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. I'm a very, very strong believer in the worst thing we've experienced is the worst thing we've experienced. Like, you know, you yourself, that you as an individual have experienced.
Well, and it's your bubble. It's your life, right? No one else is living your life except for you.
No one's gonna understand it the way that you do. So
see, I have a hard time. This is a whole other fucking tangent that we can go on, but I don't know if we want to go down this road because I want to keep on you. But there's a whole other thing that I think about too, about my situation, about other people's situations in the Western world. You know, when you start to zoom out, it gets scary. Okay. Or not scary, but it gets like for example, like when I think about situations in like Palestine right now, or like or in Africa, like people don't have access to clean water, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And you know, then I think like how can I be complaining about my life?
It's so true.
But that when you start going down that rabbit hole, buddy, it's never ending.
It's just spiraling. It's just going.
It just makes you feel worse and worse about yourself that you're complaining. But it's like, you gotta have to like zoom back in your own situation, and like as selfish or as guilty as you might feel about it, like you are the only one living your life, and like you didn't choose where you're born. You're just born where you're born. Yeah. Right? And I just happened to be born here. And I happened to face the things that I had to face in my life, and it's below whatever the fuck standards are, but it's something that not a lot of people experience on this side of the world.
Exactly.
You know, and like that's what I have to relate it to. Because once you start zooming out and you start going, well, there's kids in Africa that don't have clean water. Well, it's like, okay, well, unfortunately, I'm not a kid in Africa. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can empathize.
I'm never gonna,
but like I can't ever fully understand what it's like to live there because I've never lived there. Right? I've lived here my whole life, for the most part, other than the UK. But I've lived here my whole life. This is my experience. This is the things the hardships I've had to go through in this ecological environmental system I'm in. Right? And in that capacity, it's not normal what I've lived in this capacity.
Exactly.
So it's like it's a double-edged sword, obviously, but like I struggle with that sometimes. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
yeah, I feel like
because you just said you wholeheartedly believe in like what happens in your life is your life.
Right? Yeah, so. Honestly, I feel like it has taken me a bit to get there. Like there definitely is a level of just like wanting to compare and stuff, but it's like I just recently joined like a grief support group, and everyone goes in and shares their stories, and there were some really incredible and really difficult journeys that people had been on, especially recent and like similar timelines as I am, and it's like, but there's no way to be like somebody's is worse, because everyone's perspective of like relativeness, like, you know, you're just feeling, how do I put this, we're just going through life, and the day, like the worst thing that happens, no one else is going to experience the worst thing that happens to you. And you know, someone might think that something that's happened to you is absolutely like horrific, but that might not actually be like the worst thing that's happened to you. And I think like it changes on a day to day. Sometimes it feels like literally the worst thing that's ever happened to me is like, I don't know, like missing a bus, and I'm like, this is so stupid, but like sometimes it just feels like that. And I feel like it's just like I'm very much somebody who like is in the moment.
Well, it also might be bigger than just missing a bus.
Exactly.
There's something beyond just missing a bus, you know?
That's like affecting you.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I do feel like it's just like, you know,
well, I have a lot of these conversations too, Imogen, where it's like whenever I tell my story to people in our ecological environmental system that we have here in Canada, whenever I tell my story, everyone's like, holy shit, bro, like that's insane, like I have nothing to complain about, like, and it's a normal reaction to have. It happens all the time. But then I'm always on defense. I'm always like, no, like don't do that.
Don't
like
worry.
My life is not worse or better or whatever than yours. Like this is just my experience with my life, and it's whatever it is to me, but don't compare yourself to my life.
No,
that's not fair to me, and it's not fair to you.
Yeah.
Like whatever happened to you was the worst thing. Like you just said, like it's whatever the worst thing happened to you is whatever the worst things happened to you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to understand that because only you went through that. And just like you're not going to understand what I went through. And that's fine. We can come to an understanding of that.
Yeah.
But like I hate when people jump to comparison right away. And they go, Taylor, oh my God, it's like thank you for the sympathy. That means a lot to me that you care enough to like say those things, but at the same time it's like don't belittle yourself.
Yeah.
Just because you think my journey is harder than your journey.
Like just give yourself the space and respect, and I feel like that's something that if I don't do that, that's when like my perfectionism goes crazy, because
I can imagine
like the comparison. So I'm just like especially like, you know, as an artist, like I think like just trying to learn to not compare myself to other artists and other professionals also helps in a mental health way, which is 100%. So silly, but
no,
it
it's
does.
not silly at all. That's like 100% true. It's 100% true. So to circle back to, because I feel like this tangent can go on forever.
Totally.
But just the real is like real quick before we move into the next section. It's interesting. Every time I do this, not every time I do this, but like I would say like 80% of the time I do this segment, it comes back to suicide.
Really interesting.
Like, not everyone gets there, obviously. Like I've had some guests that like aren't at that level of depression or whatever you want to call it. but they have their own deep ends, obviously, and it's like that's their own deep end, like we just discussed.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in the fact that like there's so many people of walks of life I've had on this show, and like 8 times out of 10, when we get to this segment of the Real Reels, it's some sort of suicide ideation or attempts or something as dark equivalent as that, and it's like, damn, man, like this is where society's at right now.
Yeah.
Where it's like I can have someone like you come in and then someone completely different from you come in, and when we get to this segment, it's rooted in the same situation.
Yeah, I personally, for me, I found out like in high school that a lot of people with anxiety have like suicidal ideation as like a comfort point of like,
it's a way out.
You can always tap out.
Yeah, it's scary, but that's the truth, though.
Which like, it's really hard to, it's a little bit tricky to like talk about, but I feel like it's like I feel like I like really had that younger than I ever thought. Like it took me a while to realize like, oh, maybe I was thinking that at like 9, 10, 11, like way younger than I thought
I was 13
I could be. Yeah,
when I attempted.
Wow.
So that's and there's probably other people out there that are the same, like they discovered way earlier or way later, doesn't matter. Like the fact that you got to that point in the first place is insane to me, that like how is this not addressed more?
Yeah.
Where 8 times out of 10 when I have a guest come on, we get to the real segment, that is the level of which we're all speaking.
Just that's crazy. It is wild that like no one talks about it. Like it never ever comes up casually.
Right? Yeah. And that's the point that I'm trying to get across too, is like we all clearly experience this, but like why is it not discussed? Or why is it always frowned upon? When 8 times out of 10 when a guest comes on, we get there. And like thank God that we're having these conversations. And I'm so privileged and honored to be talking with people that are brave enough to discuss these things like I am.
Yeah.
And make this more of an accessible conversation, because suicide's a real fucking thing.
Exactly.
Do you know, like, I heard a stat somewhere, like, during COVID, that the suicide rate was at one point higher than the COVID deaths.
Whoa. That's wild.
And, like, don't quote me on that. Like, I'm just, I'm saying it was very high, regardless. And it was, like, the silent killer. Like, everyone was so focused on the pandemic, rightfully so, it was a pandemic, and, like, that was the forefront, obviously. But the after effect of what it caused, no one was talking about.
We never talked about the collective trauma and like the collective.
We all just moved on like nothing happened.
We were told to, and we just we just did.
It's weird, man. But like the thing that I noticed the most out of it, like, because like there was a demographic that obviously got affected the most by COVID, like the elderly and the immunocompromised, right? Yeah. So like, God forbid, like that's horrifying, right? But they came with the vaccine, and people that had good immune systems that were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, more than likely could be fine, right? I think it's fair to say that. I don't think I'm like under-exaggerating or over-exaggerating the situation. But the silent killer in that demographic was the constant decommunication of humans and the isolation and the unprecedented times that we all lived in. Yeah. And I was talking to people the other day about, like, they never suffered mental health illness in their whole life. But then COVID happened, now they suffer mental health illness.
The trauma is real from it. Like, it's just like, and I feel like even, like, I was working through it, and they wanted us to just, pull up your bootstraps and get on with it. And meanwhile, people, like, the people I was working with were seeing firsthand, like, not just the fear of the pandemic and the isolation. I honestly feel quite lucky with the isolation stuff, where I was able to work in a way that I was still going in and seeing people. And we were wearing masks, and we, like, kept our distance as much as we could. But at the same time, it was like, I'm working with some of my best friends.
Somewhat normalcy in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
In an unnormal situation.
Totally.
Like, I was suicidal during COVID.
Yeah.
Because I'm a server.
It was rough.
It was one of the first jobs to get canned.
Oh, it was gone right away. Yeah.
And then, like, music was my other job. That got canned. Yeah. So I had no outlet.
Yeah. Like, literally a month before COVID, I bought my camera to be like, I'm going to start doing concert photography. And then I think I shot like one show, and that was it.
Damn, talking about bad timing.
Yeah, it was really unlucky.
Anyways, all that to say, like, just like it's crazy to me how suicide is not spoken about more.
Yeah.
If clearly there's a thread happening here.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's just, but on the flip side of it, let's put some light on this as well, because I do want to talk about both sides of it. Mm-hmm. It shows how connected we are. In a weird way.
Like the hive mind of humans. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, look at this. Mm-hmm. Yes, we're not talking about it, but look at this.
We all have something to like process here and like work through together.
We're more connected than we think we are.
Yeah.
We can have all the differences of the fucking world. Like, you could like country, I could like metal, whatever. Mm-hmm. You could be totally different people, but at the end of the day, mental health, blah blah blah, equals someone gets to suicide ideation. Totally. Or attempts. And that's the root.
That's hard.
And like that's a scary fucking root to have.
It is a scary
and like
heart.
There are definitely better roots to be like rooted in, like experiences, happiness, whatever, but like let's you know, I think my take on it is like, let's utilize this in a positive way rather than doing the
talk
negative
about
way.
it. Yeah.
You know? Like, let's like, okay, we all are at this point, let's fucking talk about it. Let's get through it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like it has come up in hindsight. It has come up in some friendships where we don't necessarily like call it what it is, but somebody will be like, recently, man, I've been crossing the street and not even thinking about looking, and it's like, okay, I know exactly what point you're at.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and have a coffee, bro. Like,
let's talk this out.
Let's talk about it. Like, you know, like what can make you care a little bit more about where your life is. And I feel like that, honestly, like that specific wording of like, you know, I cross the street without thinking about it, you know, has come up like several times.
Thought, right?
Yeah.
Or is it called an impulsive thought, or is it?
I know what you're looking for, and I can't think of it right now.
Whatever, the audience will tell us.
Yeah, exactly.
They know what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that exact wording has just come up in several friendships, and those are the friendships where I'm like, oh, okay, like you guys really get what a dark moment
that's
looks
like saying it without saying
like.
it, basically what they're doing.
Exactly.
But like, why can't we just say it?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean, but we're taking steps and getting better. It's like, now people are feeling more comfortable to say it without saying it. Mm-hmm. But like, I think we need to be at a point where we just need to be saying it.
Yeah. That's so real.
Like, why are we being on the rush, dude? Like, it is what it is.
Just get
Call
into
a spade.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I get the people, like, there's an argument where it's like, okay, you could call a spade, but like, are people gonna understand the spade? Like, okay, you told them, now what?
Yeah, what is it?
But it's like, we don't need them to understand. We just need them to listen.
Totally.
And be there. That's it.
Totally. And that's a huge part of it. And just like really, really listen. Like, really genuinely. Like, and not try to fill in. These people that are in these places just need someone to be there for them. Mm-hmm. They need someone to hold. They need someone to tell them it's going to be okay. Yes. Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to be a fucking counselor. You don't have to be a psychiatrist. You don't have to, like, solve their problems for them. You don't have to relate to them even. Mm-hmm. Like, you might not even have ever felt suicidal thoughts in your life. But if someone comes up to you and goes, hey, I'm feeling suicidal, just be there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just hang out.
That's what we need.
That's exactly it. And I felt that, like, so much during grief as well. Where it's like, yeah, like, if somebody just offered me literally anything, I'm like, I would feel a million times better. Yeah. And
sometimes we don't even know what we need until it comes to us.
Exactly.
And like, that could be as simple as someone just listening, which is really what society needs to get to.
Listening or sitting and doing something else. Yeah. Being told to do something else.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, let's go get a coffee. Yeah. Let's go to the park.
Given a meal. Yeah.
You know, like, let's get out of here and go do something else.
Totally.
Even that.
That's a huge thing. And I feel like what's been a big issue is like having friends, like, you know, having to like make a plan every time you want to see someone. And I'm like, why not just make something that's like consistent, or make something that doesn't require any effort?
Like a weekly meetup, or like a bi-weekly meetup or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that like routine and community has been a huge thing for me recently, and like been looking for that and like striving for it and trying to curate it and whatever that looks like. And
it's creating a tradition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Creating something to like look forward to and break up your week a little bit.
Let's start that.
Yeah? Once a week?
Let's start that. Because we were talking, it's funny, because like at the beginning of, before we started rolling, we were talking about like how when I did your podcast and we like vibed so quickly as friends, we were like, oh, we need to hang out more.
Totally. And then it never happened.
But hey, we're here now.
We've been hanging today.
We made it work. We've been hanging today, which is great.
Exactly.
So maybe let's hold ourselves accountable.
And do it.
Let's do like a traditional thing,
like a once a week coffee. That's what me and my friend Nadine are trying to do now. Every like, Monday morning,
bi-weekly and see how that works. Because weekly's a commitment.
Intense, yeah.
But bi-weekly, that's like every other week.
Exactly.
That's chill.
Just
I can commit to that.
Yeah, find something to slot in. Yeah, perfect.
Like maybe bi-weekly we go into a forest and scream.
Incredible. I love screaming at Leslie's Pit. That's my favorite place to scream.
There you go.
But scream at the lake.
Can you imagine we like just meet up like every other week and we just like meet up for like an hour? We just go to a forest and start screaming at the top of our lungs. And we're like, okay, bye, Imogen, and then we leave.
That sounds incredible. That would get out so much adrenaline. Like it's just so much emotion out. Exactly.
Okay, next time in a week and a half from now, okay, bye.
What your body goes through when you scream is I feel like I don't know what it is. But
is it Christy Pitts? They've been doing the group screams.
What? No.
Oh, we got to go to one of these.
Can we? Yeah.
I'll see it on TikTok.
I want to go.
Yeah, there's like they get like a whole bunch of people together at Christy Pitts, and then it's like 3, 2, 1, and everyone screams.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's like a community scream.
I love that. Yeah,
and every time I keep seeing it, I'm like, fuck, I missed it, and I don't know where to find the information to like when they're meeting.
Go to a community scream.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people, because I mean, how many people would go?
A lot.
I feel like
from the
so
TikToks I've seen,
many.
it's like hundreds.
What?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And now there's like people filming and shit. Like,
I'd be like, yeah.
If anybody
earplugs
that watched this episode knows about these community screams, please let us know.
Please let us know.
This episode will come out for like another month and a half. But like
I will be there so hard.
I will be there so quickly.
Exactly.
Okay, now that we're laughing, let's go to the next segment.
Nice.
We covered the reels.
Okay.
So the next segment is the rainbow section.
Yeah.
The rainbow connection.
Beautiful.
And what better way than Pride Month, right?
Yes, it's June.
Happy Pride Month. Well, we're shooting this in Pride Month. It probably won't come out in Pride Month, but as of recording, it is... Whoa. I'm so dark. As of recording this, it is Pride Month, so happy Pride Month to those who celebrate Pride Month.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rainbow segment is kind of like coming out of the darkness. You know, like, what are some of the positive things that have come out of your mental health? Or like constructiveness or coping mechanisms or ways that you've managed your mental health better. Like, let's dive into like some of like the more positive aspects of mental health.
Yeah, totally. Definitely, I will say like therapy has been a big thing. I don't know if it works for everybody, but like talk therapy.
Oh, I always recommend it.
Yeah, incredible. Like, great.
It's people always are like, I don't know. It's just go. Just go.
Just try it. Yeah. Try it. Do
but
2-3
also know
sessions.
That it might not work the first time though.
Exactly.
Because you need to. It's like someone had a great analogy about this. It's like finding not a partner. That's pretty extreme, but it's like finding someone that you vibe with.
Yeah, you have to find the
same anticipation or same criteria you need for a therapist. You might not vibe with the first therapist you go, and they're not going to have the answers for you.
Exactly.
But you can't give up because you didn't vibe with the first therapist you went to go see. I went through 4 therapists to find the therapist that worked for me.
That's amazing. And like that dedication, like it takes so much to do that. It does. So much.
But it's worth it in the end though, because once you find the person you vibe with, I've been seeing my therapist for 8 years now.
Wow. Just keep going.
Because we clicked.
That's incredible.
And she like gets me in a way that I was looking for. And her methods worked best for me.
Yep.
Of getting over the trauma that I hadn't dealt with. Whereas past therapists, their methods just didn't work for me.
That's cool. That's really good to know.
So like if someone's listening or watching this pod, my advice would just be like, please go to therapy if you feel like you need it. But don't be discouraged if it doesn't work the first couple of times.
Yeah.
You got to find the right person.
And check out Affordable Therapy Network because
plug. Go.
Like like that's where I found my therapist. It's connects you with students who like you don't need to be wary of, but they do charge like maybe like $50 a session if you don't have the financial support or financial resources to pay for like, you know, the $250, $175, whatever. Like that gets expensive. And if you find someone you really vibe with, a lot of these people will do the most for you financially, at least in my experience. So I really support
Thank you for sharing that.
The Affordable
huge.
Therapy Network. Yeah,
that's huge. I mean, I'll shout out Heart Support.
Totally.
I mean, I work with them. So Heart Support is a free mental health service organization, a nonprofit, and you can sign up through their website, and they match you with a peer support worker. You can be matched with me. But yeah, so it's like it's not like 100% counseling, but it's someone to listen. And it's
someone
free
to chat with.
You know, so it's like it's all volunteer based. So it's like these people are there for the right reasons and want to help people. So that's another outlet you can use too. So between Imogen's recommendation and my recommendation, that's 2 outlets right there. 2
cheap talking to people outlets, and
right?
that's really what it comes down to. It's just
what else, Imogen?
An outlet.
Let's get into your story.
Yeah. Things that have really helped me is let me gather my thoughts a little bit here.
Yeah. It's a big question.
Yeah. Something that's paired really nicely with therapy is this concept of morning pages. If anyone is familiar with like the Artist's Way, you definitely know what morning pages are. And the Artist's Way is very like, you know, 12-week course. You're going to discover yourself as an artist. You're going to figure yourself out creatively. And it's really interesting because it paired very well with what I was doing with therapy. Okay. I have yet to make it all the way through the Artist's Way. I will someday. I
don't even know what this is.
Fingers
what
crossed.
Is this?
It's like a 12-week, it's a book, but it is like a 12-week course within this book.
Okay.
So there's a chapter to read every week. There's options of like activities to work through, and you're encouraged to do like 1 or 2 or 3 a week, as much as you can do.
Okay.
And then there's 2 things that you have to do every single week, which is the artist date, which is the idea of like you basically just set an hour or 2 hours every week that you're going to be like alone. You're not going to hang out with people. You're going to like focus on your craft or fill out these questions or work on a different craft yourself. And then there's the morning pages. The morning pages are just like every morning you wake up and you write stream of consciousness and you get it out every morning.
Like journaling almost.
Like journaling. I think for me, this was like my own personal experience with journaling is journaling for me became very much like scrapbooking and a way for me to like a little bit romanticize my life. And
that's so cute.
Yeah, which is really nice. However, it was like I didn't want to be like a little bit of an asshole or a bitch in my journals because I was like I want it to be nice and good.
Yeah.
But the morning pages is very much like I can complain as much as I want, and then once it's on the paper, it's complaints that I no longer need to talk about. Yeah, and it's gone. And you know, it even with like physical health, it helps for me to be like, oh, my back hurts today in the morning pages, and then you just. It's one less thing. One less thing. Your 30s. Yeah, yeah. Oh no.
I'm kidding.
But
no.
No, I'm scared. Everyone I know.
Today, I was like, oh god.
My roommate just pulled his back out, and I'm like.
It happens, man. It happens.
No, I'm not gonna do that, but yeah.
Every time I go to mosh pit now, I'm like hurting the next 2 days.
I feel that. I'm only 26, and I'm like, I'm not who I was when I was 23.
Yeah, it creeps up on you.
Exactly.
It creeps up on you.
Yeah. But
no, that's great. That's such a good resource.
I think
that's awesome.
Yeah, like trusting yourself with like this concept of writing or another outlet, like something, another way to like get your thoughts out that's like really, really non-judgmental. Like extreme stream of consciousness, like where you just, it's out, you don't have to think about it. You can, I don't know, I think at the end of the Artist's Way they tell you to like burn your morning pages. It's like you don't have to, but I mean,
burn 'em.
Think about it that way. Like think about it as like just you're getting it out.
Invite your friends over, have a bonfire, and burn them.
Exactly. Do that every like few months where I'm just like, what do I need to get rid of in my life? And I write it all out and then I burn it, and I'm like, this is so freeing.
I thought of our tradition.
Yeah? Every 2 weeks?
Yep.
What are we doing?
Bi-weekly. Bonfire.
Fuck yeah.
Burn the pages. Just
burn the last 2 weeks off.
Yep.
Shake it off. Get it done.
We're going to write whatever the fuck we need to get out of us.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to come over. I got a bonfire pit in my backyard.
Nice.
So. Well, a bonfire, just
hell yeah. The fire. That's a great, like...
Cleanse our soul.
Small, like, doesn't need to be too heavy of an activity.
Right.
But, like, relief. Mm-hmm. Relief. And you can have a beer with that. You can have a hot chocolate. There's no pressure to do anything.
Yeah.
That's great.
Or
that's
you have
a really
a non-alcoholic beer if you're
a non-alcoholic beer. Exactly.
Or juice.
Yeah.
Or a Gatorade.
Yeah.
Or an energy drink.
Make a s'more
you could do s'mores. You could do spider dogs.
I love a spider dog.
I don't eat hot dog anymore, but yeah.
Okay, valid.
But I can get what's a veggie dog?
A veggie dog. I was gonna say like a vegan hot dog.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
A veggie spider, if you will.
Veggie spider. Spider.
For those that don't know what we're talking about, it's when you cut a hot dog into like spider legs.
Exactly. And the ends are into quarters, so then it like frays out.
Yes, it frays and it looks like legs.
Yeah. And then you can like rip off the little bits and dip them in things, and they taste so good. Exactly. It literally is a cheese string for hot dogs. It's so good.
I love ending on a goofy note. This is so fun.
Somebody on Fridays, like at like a party we had, said that that's their favorite food, and I'm like, honestly, respect.
Cheese strings or hot dogs?
Hot dogs.
That's crazy.
Spider dogs.
Spider dogs specifically. Wow. Okay. Good for them.
And I'm like, good on you.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Just check their cholesterol levels. They may be a little high if you're eating it too much.
But it is
also, like,
food.
What is hot dog meat? I don't know. Does anybody know?
I bought these really, really cheap hot dogs, like from No Froze, like not really thinking. I was just like, I need food, and I'm just gonna buy cheap hot dogs because they're like $2.50 and I'm poor. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna buy these, and then. The first ingredient on them is mechanically separated chicken, which is
what
just...
What the hell?
Like,
did you have to add the mechanically separated
I don't know.
You could have just said chicken.
You could have just said chicken, but no.
Mechanically separated
first
chicken.
Word in the ingredients list is mechanically.
Woo! That's the good stuff right there. That's the good stuff.
I put them in a KD sometimes.
You got your five food groups. Mechanically separated chicken.
Exactly. That's what you start with.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What other methods you got?
Other methods?
What has helped you
That's been a really, really big one.
Well, you went through such a big loss recently too.
That's very true.
What have you been doing to help you process that grief?
Something that I did very much like recent to the grief, and it's a kind of an ongoing project, but I've been like kind of creating larger art projects to like work through.
Okay.
For me, as like I'm like a very creative person, obviously multidisciplinary artist. It's like it was kind of like my therapist said, like, you know, like larger art projects are such a great way to process because there's aspects of it that deal with the grief and there's aspects of it that like really don't, like, you know, like where you're like laying it out and there's a technical aspect, and so it really makes you like put yourself into a skill without like being as like put yourself into a skill with like almost like a degree of separation with what you're processing. And so for my brother's, in honor of my brother, I made like a zine.
The one you gave me, right?
I gave you a copy of it. Thank you.
It was really like I almost started crying. It was emotional.
It was a lot. Yeah. We get look at this.
Sorry, dog's joining the pod.
Look at him.
There he is. Say hi to Mikey.
He's just a little guy.
He's a little dude.
He's a little guy.
He's been on so many episodes.
That's so good. Co-host. There's always a co-host.
Oh, he's my co-host.
Yeah.
Just like you have
Sophia. He looks mildly overwhelmed, but I'll go back to the zine.
Yes, please.
It was a great place. I knew I didn't want to include all the writing that I did in the zine, so then that encouraged me to do more writing, which like the writing was a huge part of processing. And I would go to a cafe and I'd sit in the window, shout out Ideal on Sororan, because I would sit in the window and I would just cry. And everyone else would be on their little, you know, work from home business meetings, and I'd be sitting there in the window crying. But it was a great place to just like get some thoughts out and work, like, you know, get some vibes out. And like I said, like a lot of this grief was rooted in like childhood, and so like I had all these childhood photos that I needed to process, and like you saw inside, like a lot of it's collages of these photos, where I like got to give them a little bit of new life.
Yeah, for sure.
He seems to have a lot to say right now.
But
now
he does.
Yeah.
Lay down, Mikey.
But yeah, I like larger creative projects are like have been like an incredible way. I'm kind of starting on one that I really, really hope will go forward. I applied for like this program, or I'm in the process of applying for this like program where they like support you to make like a film, sort of like a short film. And
incredible.
The idea is like it's supposed to be like a concept around mental illness or addiction.
Whoa. I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's very cool. And so like I'm pitching like this concept of like processing grief and in like sort of an absurdist film way. And I think it's very interesting because I feel like the zine was very much like my brother and honoring him, and now this film is very much like how do I honor the process of the last 9 months, and how do I honor like where I am now, and feeling after coming out of like some pretty heavy spaces, some pretty heavy places after he passed. So it's like we'll see where that goes. I think like like creating like a bigger project as somebody who's like very ADHD and very perfectionism, bigger projects are so intimidating. So actually being able to like unlock this process of doing it that's huge. It's been huge. It's been incredible.
To give yourself something to like really try to focus on.
Exactly.
And, like, see to fruition.
Yeah. And like I made the zine. The zine was like I was like I want to get it up for Christmas because I want to be able to give it to people for Christmas, as like first Christmas without my brother. And like having that like soft deadline where like it didn't really matter if I got it done, but it was nice to like have a deadline.
Keep you accountable for the process.
Exactly, working through it. These like like these larger projects really just help you see like a bigger picture in like a way 100%. that helps a lot.
Yeah, so I think like even out of the art space, like if someone's going through something like this that's not maybe, artistic or creative, there's probably something equivalent to like whatever you find a passion in.
Exactly.
To take on a project, right? Like just taking on a project in general, like I mean, it helps distract you from sitting in the grief too long, I would say. Because I feel like it's important to kind of sit in the grief a little bit. Yeah. Because otherwise, ignoring it's not going to help, in my experience anyways. Definitely. But you just don't want to sit in that grief for too long, because that's when the depression and the anxiety start creeping in. Totally. And you start spiraling, right? Yeah. It's okay to acknowledge it, and it's okay to sit in it for a minute and be like, okay, this is happening. I'm feeling these things. It's okay to feel the things. You have to feel the things to get through it. Otherwise, if you keep just pushing them away, like, it's going to build and build and build and build, and then you're going to explode one day. You know, that's what I learned.
It just keeps going. Yeah, that's exactly it.
So definitely taking on a project. And, like, like, if it is going through, like, a grief process, like you said, Imogen, of, like, someone you've lost in your life, doing a project in memory of them is, like, both accepting the grief and honoring them at the same time. Exactly. It's like killing two birds with one stone, basically, right? And it feels, and it really just, like, I feel like it's just also just, like, that human level of communication and just, like, connection, where it's, like, when you have, like, these bigger projects, it just, like, helps people really understand and see you and visualize it. Might get something to say. Immediately goes quiet. But then Mikey's like, nope. Yeah. Mikey, something to say? Say it. You're just gonna get ASMR. You're just gonna get ASMR of him panting. Just dog panting ASMR. Yeah. Are you hot, buddy? I should mention today it's like 34 degrees in the city. It's insane. Imogen and I are sitting in my room sweating to death right now, having this in-depth conversation on mental health. It's pretty intense. How's your mental health right now? But the fan is good. How's my mental health right now? Honestly, recently it's been being like the past week has been good. Okay. That's good. And like right now generally good. Like I feel like I was like very severely depressed, probably like the most depressed and like most like at capacity I had ever been in May, from like grief stuff and so many other things going on, a lot of complications with grief of just like losing people, whatever. Yeah. And then kind of Sorry, go ahead.
Little guy, yeah, no worries. And then the week before, it got very anxious, very like, everything needs to be done right now, immediately. And now I feel like it all balanced out. It took a little bit, and now it's balanced, and it's feeling like everything is like life feels good right now. Like I said earlier, I've just joined a grief support group. I've done one session of it, and that's been like really, it's like interesting to be in it when I'm not like in the thick of grieving. Like I feel like quite light, but I feel like that's kind of good. It's like allowing me to really listen to other people and understand what I've processed a little bit more.
Totally.
Which is good. Yeah. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
What's a great place to be in?
Chill right now.
I'm chill.
I'm feeling pretty chill. Yeah. Just
awesome,
vibing.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Definitely.
Well, let's end on a message of hope. Do you have any encouraging words for people out there listening to your story?
I feel like only very recently, as in like the past like 3 weeks, has it clicked in my head that when you're sad, it doesn't last forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's very easy for people who like hear this to be like, oh yeah, like that's obvious. But I feel like you really have to let it click.
Yeah.
And then it'll all make, like, everything becomes so much easier. So this is just a reminder that, like, it is, like, okay to feel sad. It doesn't need to feel like the end of the world to feel sad. Like, you can feel sad, and that's a good thing. You can feel anxious, and it won't be forever. There will be happy moments again. And honestly, it's probably sooner than you think it is.
It's right around the corner.
Who knows? Yeah. One day at a time. Yeah, that's all it is. I know that might be cliche, but it's been a big realization recently, so I think it's important to acknowledge. So yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Taylor, for letting me speak.
Listen to the message that Imogen just said. Hey, you, listen to it. You, listen. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Imogen, for being on the show today.
Of course.
We covered quite a bit.
Yeah, we got into it, definitely.
We got lost in the sauce for a long time there. It was beautiful. It was such a nice, eye-opening conversation. And
yeah, I can hear my, like, grade 6 teacher being like, slow down on your speaking, you know, but
shut up, grade 6
that's
teacher.
fine. Yeah.
It's a free-flow conversation.
Exactly.
Where can people find you if they want to reach out?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Imogen J. Lister. That is the link there. Oh, hello, friends. Hello.
I already know you already.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Yeah. Give me a follow at Imogen J. Lister. Give me a follow. Send me a message. I will reply eventually, probably. But yes. And
check out the pod.
This Must Be the Place pod on Instagram, or This Must Be the Place on Spotify, Apple Music, all that fun stuff. And we're talking love songs over there. It's very cozy. It's very sweet. It's very it can get a little bit deep sometimes, and sometimes it's really just lighthearted and cute and good music recs, and that's what.
Go check out
that's
my
everything
episode.
You need. Yeah.
If you're watching,
check out the Wishwell episode,
and you care about what I have to say, go over to their pod.
Yeah.
You can check out our episode together because it's very fun.
The Taylor Wishwell episode feature. Yeah.
Exactly. And now we have an Imogen Mental Break podcast episode.
Woo! I feel so special. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for letting people know and
letting me rant.
Thank you for letting people into that vulnerable side of your life. Like, I know it's not easy to talk about these things, and the fact that you were like so game to be on the pod and
totally
took things seriously, and you came on here and you expressed yourself and opened up about your story. Like, that's huge. And like, hopefully someone out there that's listening felt that and can relate to what you said today and your story and your journey with mental health and can get something out of it. You know, that's ultimately like the cherry on top of things, right? So
definitely.
So thank you so much, Imogen, for being,
of course,
just a great pal.
Thank you, Taylor, for being a great pal too. And now we're gonna start burning things bi-weekly.
Let's go.
The bi-weekly burn.
The bi-weekly burn. If you guys want to be part of the bi-weekly burn, hit us up.
Yeah, let us know.
Grow our bonfire tremendously. But again, thank you so much, Imogen. Really appreciate you being on the show. It means a lot to me.
Definitely.
Thank you for sharing your story with us today. Thank everyone, all you guys, for watching and listening and supporting the pod. It means a lot to us. I think I can speak for Imogen when I say us.
Exactly. Like,
to us.
All of the support to, like, the Toronto arts and Toronto music and, you know, the mental health community. I feel like, you know, just none of these things would exist without people actually wanting to participate. It can't just be people, like, bouncing ideas off of each other back and forth. Like, you listening makes such a difference.
It takes a village.
Exactly.
It takes a village. So
exactly.
You guys are a big supporter of all of this and getting this message out there and heard for the people that need to hear it. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. You can check us out at A Mental Break Podcast on Instagram and any social media platform. And remember that these episodes are not only on Spotify and Apple Music, but also on YouTube. There's a whole video format. Hi, you can see us and, like, be a part of the conversation.
And we're just hanging.
And we just hanging out here and just have a nice conversation. If you feel like if you're one of those people that, like, this is me. I don't listen to podcasts. I watch podcasts.
I listen. To me, it's something to do while I'm working on something else.
You listen and I watch. So
podcasts are for flow states, and I'm, like, working on something else, and I'm, like,
I like feeling like I'm in the conversation.
Interesting.
Like I'm, like, a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I'm a very visual person. Like, I need to be, like, watching stuff, like, to be stimulated. Otherwise, if I was just listening to it, I'd be like, da-da-da, I'd be, like, all over the place.
That's it.
I think I have ADHD too, but I'm just undiagnosed at this point.
Mine. Yeah, I understand. It's
know.
very recent. Yeah, I only figured it out because my therapist was like, well, people with ADHD tend to do this, and I was like, oh, you, like, are fully convinced that I have ADHD, and, like,
and you're like, whoa,
I don't, but apparently I do. So
yeah,
and that made me think, and I was like, okay.
I mean, I thought it was just OCD because a lot of traits overlap between ADHD and OCD.
Interesting.
From what I've discovered over the years of like learning about my mental illnesses and talking with people that also have ADHD and OCD, it's like there's a lot of overlap of symptoms. So, like, what I thought what might be ADHD could just be OCD, which I am diagnosed with. Yeah. But then someone who has ADHD, her and I talked about it, and she was like, no, I'm pretty sure you have ADHD. I'm like, oh, great, perfect. So I have both.
Interesting. Okay,
so it's a whole thing. I don't know. But anyways, for those that are visual people, check out our YouTube. It's at A Mental Break Podcast on YouTube. You can watch the full podcast in person. Feel like you're a fly on the wall. You're hanging out with us.
Totally.
As we do a little dance.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap this up.
Totally, yeah.
Make sure you go rate the podcast, share it, spread the word, get it out there. We're trying to break the stigma surrounding the conversation. It means a lot to us that you do that. Let's end off on some things. Let's say drink some water.
Definitely drink some water. If it's hot when this comes out,
dude,
drink even more water.
Drink even more water.
If you're on SSRIs, drink even more water. Yeah.
Go out for a walk.
Go for a walk.
If you have a pet, take them for a walk. If you don't, you go for a walk. Find a friend to go with a walk. And I want you to pull out your phones right now and scroll down your messages to someone you haven't talked to in a long time and tell them you love them. There you go.
That's very sweet. Yeah.
Do it.
Reconnect with those people.
Do it now.
Reconnect with them.
Pause this episode, go do that, and then come back.
Let people know that they're appreciated.
Yes, it's so important in this world.
It's
okay, Imogen, thank you so much.
Thank you, Taylor. Okay.
Love you. Thanks for being on the show.
Love you too.
All right, let's directly into camera.
Okay.